It was not the thunder that moved me, not the grand, eloquent prayers, not the crowds, nor the music, nor the voices raised in practiced cadence. It was your silence that night, when your body lay curled beneath blankets, soaked in sweat and tears, and no words could form in your mouth. I drew closer than I ever had before. You didn't know it. You didn't feel me. But I held your silence, and in that stillness, in that raw ache of exhaustion and surrender, you prayed the loudest prayer of your life, without a sound. You thought prayer required words. You thought power required volume. But my kingdom listens differently. We hear the trembling of hearts, the sigh of lungs that want to quit, the pulse of hands that don't know where to go. You said nothing that night, but I heard everything. The angels stood still. Even the heavens paused. For silence that holy, that desperate, that true, is not ignored. I watched as your tears carved valleys down your cheeks, and I whispered, "This one is mine." You see, prayer was never just speech. It was presence. And that night, your silence became sacred ground, a cathedral built in a bedroom, with ceilings of grief and stained glass windows made of memories you didn't ask for. You didn't fold your hands, you didn't kneel, you didn't light candles, but you gave me your heart, unfiltered, unpolished, and I received it like a royal offering. I know what you asked me without asking. I know the questions hidden inside your breath, the ones that don't make it past your lips because you're too afraid the answers will shatter you. Do you still love me? Did I fail you? Why did you let that happen? Am I too late? Do I matter at all? You didn't say them, but I heard them, because silence is not empty, not to me. To me, your silence is a symphony. Every beat of your heart is a drum, every sigh, a string, every tear, a melody of surrender. And I conduct it all with my own hands. That night, when you stared at the ceiling for hours, unable to sleep, unable to cry anymore, unable to even hope, I was not watching you from afar. I wasn't waiting for you to get it right. I was sitting at the edge of your bed, holding the silence like a newborn child. I held it gently, with reverence, because I knew that night was not weakness, it was worship. Do you remember when the world taught you that silence meant abandonment, that a quiet room meant no one was listening, that unanswered prayers meant I had turned my face? They lied to you. Silence is not my absence. It's my invitation, an invitation to sit in the depth of my presence, not with noise, not with performance, but with honesty. You didn't need words that night. You needed me, and I came. I didn't bring lightning. I didn't shake the walls. I didn't speak in thunder, because I wasn't trying to impress you. I was trying to hold you. So I wrapped myself around your silence, and I whispered into it things your ears couldn't yet hear, but your soul felt. You are loved. You are safe. You are not forgotten. This is not the end. The enemy told you no one saw you, that your quiet pain would never matter, that your story was too invisible for heaven to touch. But what he didn't know is that your silence echoed across eternity. It reached me, not in spite of being silent, but because of it. Let me tell you something the world never taught you. The silence you survived was witnessed by me, by angels, by every realm that moves between eternity and time. When you lay awake, staring at the ceiling with tears stuck behind your eyes, heaven was not passive. It recorded you, every breath, every ache, every heartbeat that screamed for relief. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually the loudest praise the darkness ever heard. Because you didn't quit. Do you know how many kingdoms tremble when a wounded soul doesn't let go of me? The demons knew your history. They knew your triggers. They surrounded your silence thinking it was weakness. But they were wrong, because your silence wasn't surrender. It was sanctified resistance, the kind that breaks generational curses, the kind that births ministries, the kind that shifts bloodlines. You didn't speak, but your silence roared. There are scrolls in heaven, books you've never seen, and in one of them is your name. Every night you didn't give up is there. Every battle you fought in secret. Every smile you gave when you were bleeding inside. Every act of love that no one acknowledged. Heaven is not blind. Heaven is precise. And one day I will open that book before all creation. Not to shame you, not to judge you, but to honor you. You see ashes, I see oil. You feel forgotten, I see a foundation. You think your silence made you invisible, but it made you eternal. And let me tell you something else. While you slept that night, barely, I surrounded your bed with angels, not to speak, but to stand guard, to bear witness, to hold the sacred weight of a heart still beating when it should have stopped. Your silence was not a void, it was a throne room, and I entered it like a king returning to the home of his child. You think your prayers are only real when you speak? Let me shatter that lie. Some of your greatest prayers were just your tears, and I caught them all. You thought your silence was a prison, but I was building a sanctuary. You thought your pain was the end, but I was writing a beginning. You didn't see what I was doing behind the veil. But now, let me show you. That night, while you sat in darkness, there was a child 3 cities away, on the edge, on the verge, and somehow she decided to stay. She didn't understand why. She just felt peace for a moment. That peace came from your silence, because in your stillness, you whispered my name with your soul, and I released the overflow. Another night, different hour. A man who had lost his wife stood in his kitchen, ready to disappear. He saw a post you wrote months ago. Just 3 words, still standing, barely. He wept, and he stayed, because your silence became a seed, and I watered it. You didn't see the tree grow. You didn't hear the fruit fall, but I did. You think your story is too quiet to matter? That it'll never change anything? Let me be clear. Your silence changed eternity, because it broke cycles. It shattered darkness. It reminded heaven that faith doesn't always shout. Sometimes it just breathes. You don't have to preach. You don't have to lead crowds. You don't even have to always be strong. You just have to be willing to stay, to breathe, to open your heart, even if it doesn't make a sound. I'll do the rest. And now, child, now comes the shift. Now comes the moment when the heavens return what your silence sowed. Not all at once, not like fireworks, but like sunrise. Slow, sure, unstoppable. You will wake up one morning and realize the heaviness is lighter, the air is warmer, the pain no longer screams, it sings, not because life is perfect, but because healing has begun. One day, you will see what your silence birthed. Not in this world, maybe, but in eternity, I will roll back the veil. You will see the souls that stood because you didn't fall. You will meet the people who found me because you stayed through your night. They will walk up to you, eyes wide, hearts full, tears running, and they will say, I'm here because you didn't give up. That prayer you never finished, I finished it for you. That breath you took when you couldn't form a word, I turned it into a roar in the spiritual realm. That night you thought you failed, I called it faith, because you stayed. And for me, staying is enough. The pain you endured did not fall into a void. It fell into me. And I never lose what you give, I multiply it. So every moment you felt unseen, I was writing your name in light. Every time your lips trembled but no sound came out, I carved your silence into the foundations of heaven. I know it wasn't easy. I know you wanted to leave. I know you thought it would never change. But you stayed, and I stayed too. Now, let me speak to your future. The season is shifting. The ground is breaking open. The walls that trapped your voice are falling, and the voice you thought you lost is returning. But it won't sound the same. It will be stronger, calmer, wiser, more aligned with heaven than ever before, because it was shaped in silence. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are becoming. So tonight, if the words still won't come, if the prayers get stuck in your chest, if all you can do is sit in silence again, then sit, and I will sit with you. No pressure, no performance, just presence. Let me hold your silence one more time. Let me breathe where you can't. Let me be your voice until yours returns, because this isn't the end. This is the root, the start, the deep place where glory grows. You are not what you feel. You are not what you've lost. You are what I call you, and I call you faithful, holy, seen, loved, mine.